just wanted to come on here because tomorrow I have my first pharmacy school interview, and I think I'm starting to get nervous stomach. My stomach has kind of been in knots, and I've done everything I wanted to do this morning, and now that it's time for me to, prepare, make sure my clothes and everything is together, continue doing my research. I'm getting a little anxious. And all good anxiety. This is something that I've been working towards for a while, and I guess it just seems a little nerve-wracking that I haven't done this before. Not saying that I want to, continue to go through the application process, but preparing for school, I had so much time to learn lessons about which classes to take together, when do I want to take the class, which school needs, certain classes, and kind of preparing that aspect. But now that interviews are rolling in, it's like unknown territory, I guess, if you can understand what I'm saying. It's just unknown territory, and I don't know what to do. I'm very grateful and very excited to have gotten this far, to be even invited for interviews for certain schools. I'm just a little nervous, just a lot of nervous, I guess. But the suit that I initially bought, I kind of don't want to wear it. I'm gonna go out and find something else, and hopefully I can find something else. I just wanted to record this because I've been, recording my journey, and I didn't want to, stop in the middle of it. This is documentation for myself and for others who will be doing this as well. But yeah, so just a little update. It is December 14th, I believe. And yeah, tomorrow's my first interview, and I have 2 in December. So the first step is to finding something that I'm comfortable in, and that's, appropriate for the occasion. So I'll talk to you guys later. Okay guys, today is the day, and this is the suits that I bought. It's navy blue. I already have the shirt and the shoes. I think it looks kind of masculine, but this is what we're gonna have to work with. I have little stud earrings and necklace. I took the fingernail polish off my nails, pulled my hair back so it'll be off my face, combed through it really good, and my bag is back there. It's my conference. Hi guys, today was my first interview. Hopefully you saw the clip earlier from what I wore. I'm not sure if that will be what I'll be wearing to my next interviews, but I have an option now. Overall, today went pretty well. It was pretty short. Just from the information I've gotten regarding my other interviews, we started at 8 and it ended around 11:30. So they gave us, more information about the school. The deans came to talk to us. We had a tour around. For that school, they don't really have like an entire building dedicated to them. They just have like a floor dedicated to them. So they gave us a tour around that. We did our interviews, which, were individual, like situational questions. And then we did a writing prompt. Altogether, it was about 5 of us. And they said that they will let us know by next week or the latest the following Monday. And then we have 2 weeks to let them know, if we're accepted. We have 2 weeks to let them know if we will accept our seats and turn in our deposit. I am just a little nervous about that because with this being my first interview and my next 2 interviews are 2 weeks away, and with this kind of being my second choice school, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to end up paying, the deposit and accepting the offer until I get something else, because if I don't get accepted to any other schools and I let the opportunity pass, then that's it. You can't go back and say, oh, well, I changed my mind. So the deposit is not too bad, but it's just, money wasted if I don't go there. But at the same time, I don't want to pass up the opportunity. I just want to see if, it's my first choice school. Kind of not my first choice school, but within this, application cycle and what I got interviews for, the first choice school is gonna accept me. And I am praying that once all 3 interviews are completed, I will know something before Christmas, because I just need to, start wrapping my mind around what I'm gonna do with my life for next year. I'm a planner, so I kind of been just planning things up until like June or May, because I don't know if I'll be moving to a different state. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I don't know if I need to find a job, if I don't get into school. I don't know anything. So I'm just kind of excited to see, what's next. So I just wanted to give that update. I am socially exhausted, and all of my interviews will probably be in this one video. If it's not too long, then I'll make it 2 videos, but it'll just probably be, clips. The next clips will be of my next interviews, and those interviews are a week apart. So yeah, so I'll talk to you guys then. All right, you guys, so I am back. It is December 5th. And I am getting ready to travel for my second interview. I'm pretty excited and nervous at the same time. This interview, like I said, we do have to travel to. It is out of state. I don't want to get too many details because I probably won't be publishing this video until after I get final decisions from every school. But I will be, documenting like I did before. The interview isn't until tomorrow, Friday, and then we come back on Saturday just to save, some funds for our hotel room or whatever. But my mom is coming with me. This interview, the schedule looks to be pretty much all day, like 8 to 3. And I did all my research. I have questions, and I just feel like I feel more prepared for this interview. The school gave a lot more information regarding like if it was a closed file interview or not. And they just gave more details regarding the school and things that are going on. And I guess I have a lot more questions because this program that I'm interviewing for is an online program. So if you don't know, there are 2, as I know of, 2 online accredited programs, but you do have to go probably like once or twice a year to the campus to finish like your labs and things like that. So I do have lots of questions just to figure out like how do they close the gap for interactions and activities and things like that for the distance students. So of course I've taken, I did my complete master's degree online, but I did feel like there was a gap between the students who were on campus and the students who were online. We did get to know a lot of our classmates because we had a lot of group projects in the beginning of the program, and a lot of the classmates are kind of on the same path, so you got to see their names again. But other than that, and I'm sure it's going to be completely different. This is definitely a doctoral program, and it's for a health profession, so I'm sure it's going to be different. But I just want to make sure that if this school accepts me, that it'll be the right experience that I want to build for myself for this period in my life, because this is my last degree. I might get some certificates or things like that, but this is the last degree. I promise. So I'm pretty excited. I'm about to go pick up my mom for work so we can head to the airport, and we will be on our way. So just stay tuned. Okay, I just wanted to hop back on because I felt like this was kind of important. Not my outfit, but what I'm gonna say afterwards. But I do just have on a sweatshirt and jeans and some Uggs. Just something comfy so I can be on the plane. The flight isn't that long, it's about an hour and a half. And I just finished lint rolling my coat that I'm going to be wearing, my pea coat, because the temperature where we're going is about the same in Chicago right now. But I just want to show our bags. I decided to go, well, on the iPhone, you can't turn the camera around when you're talking. So I decided to go with carry-on bags because I learned from watching interview YouTube videos for medical students, and I'm assuming this will probably be the same for pharmacy, but there's not a lot of information, for pharmacy students or prospective pharmacy students on YouTube that I can find. That's the reason why I'm doing this. And sorry, it's kind of dark. I'm closing up the house because I'm about to leave. But I decided me and my mother are taking carry-on bags just so we don't have to worry about our bags getting lost, which my bag has never gotten lost, only probably once, knock on wood. But so our bags won't be lost because it's not like I can go out and find another suit. We get there kind of late and the interview starts at 8 a.m. So if our bags are lost, then we're kind of just, it's kind of not a minor thing because it's very important for you to be dressed professionally, but kind of just like something that could have been avoided, I guess you can say. So we're both taking carry-ons. I don't really travel with carry-ons at all. Well, suitcases for real, because I'm a faithful, member of Southwest Loyalty Program, and 2 bags are free. But because we are taking Southwest, I still decided to go with carry-on so that we can ensure that our belongings will get there safely when we arrive. So I did, like I said, I learned that from watching some interviews from medical students, and that was some advice that they gave. So we're definitely going to try it out, because the next interview that I have next week, we will have to travel as well. So it took me a long time to try to pack everything in this little bag, but it's only for 2 days. But the hardest thing was the liquids rule. So hopefully everything goes fine once we get to the airport. But we'll be there pretty early. We have pre-check, so we don't have to unpack everything, and we should be fine. But I did just want to pop on to say that if you want more information about this little carry-on thing, just look up like medical school interview advice, or I could just talk about it a little bit more once I get this behind me. So, okay, for real now. Talk to you later. Everyone, I have returned back from my interview. Just forgive my non-interesting appearance. I'm just trying to, get everything together from traveling and get my week together since we will be traveling again this weekend. So just to review what happened on interview day, I was too nervous to record anything beforehand, and plus we did not really know where we were going and we wanted to be on time. And also I was drained when we got back, because it was basically all day. We were there around 7:45 and we left around 3 p.m. So they had a really good presentation regarding everything that they offered. I was really happy that they answered all of the questions I had because of the type of program that it is. I don't want to say right now. Well, I guess I can. You guys won't be seeing this until after all the interviews are over. So it's a distance learning program, which you will mainly be doing all of your coursework online, and then you'll have to go back to the campus during the summers to complete like all the lab work and everything, like when you do your immunization certification and things like that. So I am just happy because I had a lot of questions with how do you close the gap with the students that are on campus and off campus, and how do the students who are off campus like connect with each other. I just, with this being my last degree, of course I'll go back and do, you know, like certifications and things like that, with an extension, to be an extension of my degree. But I just, and with this being so, you know, so important, you're helping take care of another human life. And not saying that any other degrees aren't important, but it's just, I guess because it's been something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, I just want to make sure I am in a good program that can support me and give me all of the information that I think I deserve, I need, and some information that I don't even know about, that I deserve to be great in this profession. And I just want to be the best I can. So when I'm looking at these programs, it's really important to me to see the environments in which they are teaching in, and of course what they offer, like in rotation, specialties and things like that. So I am looking at all of that. Because this is really important for me to pick the correct institution to help me be the best pharmacist that I can be. So we did a lot of presentations regarding like how do they go about assigning us for our IPPEs and our APPEs. What else did we do? We spoke to, of course, like the deans and some professors. And what I really liked about the school is that she said all of their faculty are still practicing in their respective fields and specialties. Everybody is a pharmacist, and it's not really a job that any of the faculty have like after they retire or something like that. So they are on the cutting edge of the current knowledge of whatever their specialty is and whatever they're teaching, which I loved. And I like that a lot of the faculty are alumni of the college. Everybody that I had a chance to meet and introduce myself to that day, they were alumni, in which that really speaks a lot to me about the institution. And, you know, maybe it could just be that, you know, we're just gonna offer you a job after you do your residency and things like that. But I just really think that speaks a lot about the institution. So what else did we do? We got a tour of the lab. We were able to talk to students. Well, they were on campus students, of course. I did see they spotlighted some students that were getting awards and that were presenting at places, and I did make sure to ask that are some of those students distance students, because it is important to me to make sure that I am involved in like leadership positions and organizations. And also, since we're distance, I can't just go to the professor's office and sit and see what research they're doing and what they need help on. I just want to make sure that those streams of communication are available for all students, no matter if you're on campus or on distance, and there were some. So that was one of the questions that I had. So I am very happy about that. Their lab was pretty great. We had lunch. We did like a writing sample, which was fairly easy. They just asked like 2 questions. It wasn't anything like rewriting a personal statement or anything. They did tell us about like all of the resources that we have, like tutoring and your advisor, and just make sure that we are communicating with everybody regarding, your situation at the time, because they understand that a lot of these distance people have maybe spouses or children or people that they can't just pick up their lives and move for a professional program, but they still want that opportunity to be able to pursue and continue their education. So I definitely liked that a lot. There were a few campus students, but majority of us were distance. And like they said, majority of us were people who couldn't pick up their lives and just move for a professional program, but still wanted that opportunity. They say we will know within a week, so I'm kind of nervous about that. I turned off, usually when I have something that I know is very important that's coming through my email, I turn off my notifications, and so I won't just be picking up my phone, every 5 seconds. Just when I pick it up, I'll see it, and it is what it is. I do feel very good about this interview. I feel like since I knew ahead of time what to expect, it was a closed file interview, so I knew to explain myself, because these people did not know me at all. They just knew my name. They knew why I was there. So I made sure I gave them everything that they asked me for and not held anything back. Like the first interview, I guess because it was my first, and I was extra nervous. I mean, I was nervous this time too, but I felt like I could have gave more. Just say it like that. The actual interview was only about 20 minutes, and it was just like having a conversation, which everybody says that, but of course you don't think about that before you go through it. What else? They had a lot of incentives that I was very happy about, and I'm kind of glad that I went to a interview of that sort, because of course you have to sell yourself, because we're going to be distant, we're not going to be on campus and things like that. So I expected the school to sell themselves the way that they did, just to ease our concerns and things like that, because there are only right now 2 accredited distance programs, and they said basically once they're still working on improving their program, but once they came up with the idea and got it on the road, they've been selling their program to other schools. So basically other schools are just kind of taking their ideas and improving them and making it work for their institution. So I am very happy about that. They seem, of course they've graduated a few classes since now, but they seem very confident in their program. They seem very confident in their school. And I'm just very impressed. I'm glad that it wasn't underwhelming. And like I was saying, I am happy that they had so much to offer. So now I know I have one more interview next weekend. Now I know what to ask for this school when I go, to compare and contrast, because if it comes down to being accepted into all the schools that I interview for, I need to know what is the defining factor, what is important to me, to make the best decision possible. So yeah, that's basically it. I wanted to come and just close out that part of the interview process, and I will be filming again next weekend. We do have to travel again. My mom is coming with me again because they said that we can bring guests, and we will basically be there all day. I was just printing out the campus map and the itinerary for that day. So I will check back in with you guys on my next interview. Hey guys, so it's basically been a couple of weeks since I last recorded. My last interview was out of town. I did travel and we stayed with some relatives, so I really didn't want to be recording around them. So I'm just gonna catch you guys up now. So I went to that interview and it was not as, what do I want to say? It wasn't as, I didn't get the same feeling from the interview the week before as I did at this interview. It was, they gave information Friday night. Once we got to Texas, we were able to do like kind of a meet and greet thing where they just had like professors and the dean and students, and you could just talk to them and ask them questions. They had like little fruit and cheese and things like that. So basically I had got all my questions answered that night, so I didn't really have a lot of questions the day of the interview. And then Saturday was the interview. It was basically all day. They fed us lunch and breakfast, and we did a tour, and we had to take a math and writing test. Kind of, it wasn't that hard at all. I wish we could get our scores back. Just could like get feedback. And then we did like the MMI style of interviewing, which was very interesting. I've never had an interview in that style, and just the questions that they asked, I am grateful, I guess I can say that I have had experience in pharmacy for as long as I had, and also I've had a master's degree in public health, because I am not sure how I would have answered those questions without the background that I have. Like, it would have been really tough to think of something like, what if you haven't had any background in pharmacy, but you figured this is the career for you. I could barely think of how I would answer those questions, but so I'm thankful for that. And interesting enough, by the time I upload this, if you're not following me on Instagram, I've already announced that I've been accepted into school. So the Friday that we arrived to Texas for my last interview, I was actually accepted to the school that I had went to the previous week. So that was, it was kind of nerve-wracking because I knew they were gonna call that day, and so it was like I couldn't get my nerves together. Like, I had to wait for them to call to get my nerves together to then be nervous again for the interview, which was wild. But I am super excited, and since it's been a couple of weeks, I've actually heard back from all 3 schools, and I've been accepted to all 3 schools, which is, I'm like speechless. I'm kind of overwhelmed with excitement. Like, I don't know, I'm speechless. I'll probably make that a separate video because I don't know how long this one is gonna be with all the clips put together, but I did just want to come and kind of close out this video, let you guys know how the last interview went. And I do want to say that when I was there for the last interview, it was so I'm interviewing with 3 different types of schools. One school is in my hometown, Chicago. One school is a distance learning program, and one school is just a traditional school. When I went for the last interview, which is the traditional school, we were taking the campus tour, and I kind of just felt like I was over that part, like over the part of being on campus and in my brain, initially, I was thinking, I want to be on campus. I want to be involved in everything, and I just want to be immersed because I want to get, as much information and be as great as I can for this degree. But when I was doing the campus tour, I'm thinking like, I'm kind of over this part. Maybe if you didn't go to undergrad or do the complete undergrad, you just do 2 years, then maybe you would have wanted that, or just depending on how your learning style is. But I can definitely say that I don't need to be on campus. I have confirmed that is definitely not something that I thought I needed. I've been working in this field for a long time, and I've made a lot of connections. All I need is the education to get me this degree. I'm not saying that I don't need more connections. It's always good to grow and connect with somebody, but I guess you could say I'm a little bit more advanced than somebody who hasn't worked in pharmacy, or doesn't have, like a network or anything already. So I guess you guys maybe can tell which way I've swayed, but it just wasn't, I don't know, I just was expecting a little bit more. They kept asking us, do we have any questions? And I'm just like, I asked all of my questions, and I'm sure I'm missing some questions. Like, they didn't even tell us how much the deposit was or when it was due. And of course, the people that were there with me asked questions, but I was like, just give me all of your information and I'll like decipher which is important to me and which isn't. I wish they would have not asked us, like kept asking us, do we have any questions, and just gave us all of the information. Another thing is that they had first year students that were kind of like the ambassadors, which was good. They were able to communicate their transition from like their undergrad or just the 2 years to this program, which was great. But I wish they had a mix of students to get a little bit more perspective, because these students were just finishing their first semester, so they're brand spanking new. But sometimes you have hindsight as you matriculate through something. So I just wish that they would have some more upperclassmen there to talk to. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't much. I was there with the family, so I was able to get around the city. Where we went is not foreign to me. I've been there plenty of times. That's why I applied there. So I didn't have to go explore the city or anything like that. But I guess that wraps up this video. I hope this helps someone. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment. Just shameless plug, I do host a podcast. It's called PCAT and Prepharmacy podcast. You can find it on any platform that you listen to podcasts. And I interview students, pharmacists. Just last week, she doesn't work in pharmacy at all. She's getting her PhD actually. But we were just talking about enjoying your journey, I know there may be, sleepless nights or tears, but actually enjoying it, because getting this far and being accepted to all the schools that I interview with, it's just amazing how far I've come. So please go check out my podcast. I'm always looking for guests. I'll leave the information in the description of the name so you can go find it. I'm also talking about tips for the PCAT, tips on picking the right pharmacy school for you, and all sorts of stuff. So make sure to go check that out, and I'll talk to you guys later.